Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Gigi Report. We're glad that you tuned in. Today is going to be very, very interesting. And today we want to address ourselves to a very, very serious debate that has been in the public domain, the issue of public debt. I know this is it's both political and technical. Today we're going to try and unravel this and see where exactly what the issues are in regard to public debt. And as you know, the Gigi Report is a platform for big, bold ideas and honest conversations on various subjects like, political, economic, social, theological, and philosophical. But today we're going to look at economic issues. I have a guest here today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, my guest today is Dr. Abraham Rugo. Dr. Abraham Rugo is the International Budgets Partnership Country Manager for Kenya. He's based in Nairobi. And Dr. Rugo is clearly an expert. Dr. Rugo graduated with a PhD in public management from the University of Potsdam, Germany. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Good. So I would like us to begin. I would like to hear, first of all, we'll hear more about Dr. Rugo's story. And then before we go to talk about the economics, the finances and all that. So, Dr. Rugo, you're a good man, and we have now been friends. You actually came on my show last time when we were doing it online through Facebook and Zoom.
Yes.
But now you're here in person. So, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Very good. Yeah. So let's start with your career background in public management. If you could tell us where you began, how you got where you are, I think that would be very good.
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting career, I must say. Now when I look back, I realize it started earlier than I thought.
Okay.
Back in high school, we had a chance to apply and be elected to be school captains.
Okay.
And therefore I applied and I was elected school captain of Nakuru High School then.
Okay.
And got into a bit of understanding of a bit of management at that particular time, as well as in the Christian Union.
Yes.
But it's in campus when I decided to join student politics, and I was elected vice president of the Kenyatta University Student Association then, in 2003.
Okay.
But then it became clear that I had an opportunity. So there I was involved. I was head of academic affairs, and therefore I sat in a lot of meetings within the Senate.
Okay.
Discussing academic programs, discussing the welfare of students and what have you. And I came firsthand into just what power people in decision positions wield.
Yes.
That they can decide this program will be ended and it will be ended.
Yes.
Or they can decide this program will start and it will start.
Yes.
They can decide a campus will be set up and it will be set up.
Okay.
So it's at that time that I got very interested in public governance.
Okay.
And I said, I think now I want to devote the rest of my life. I was training to be a teacher of maths and physics. But then I started getting very interested in economics and political science.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I didn't even look for a possibility to be a teacher.
Okay.
God opened a way. I got an internship as a policy and legislative work at the Fellowship of Christian Unions.
Yes.
When I was done there, it was clear now that's a journey I wanted to spend my life on.
Okay.
So I sought an opportunity at the Institute of Economic Affairs, again for another internship, now in a more specialized, focused organization dealing with economics.
Yes.
Well, let's say the rest has been the story, because from there I went for my master's in public management, and then later my PhD in public management. So I can say I have spent the last comfortably 15 years in this very space of trying to, I believe strongly that God calls people.
Okay.
to serve in a certain space.
Yes.
And we see examples in the Bible, men and women who came from almost what you consider a lay life and right into very senior positions of leadership.
All right.
You know, Daniel, Joseph, their stories, Esther, you know.
Yes.
They were not necessarily trained in public service. Daniel maybe is an exception.
Yeah.
But I believe that in any society, God does call people.
Okay.
And for me, I think the call is clear to be involved in public management for the very reason of working to improve God's people's lives.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. There is, of course, the sense that let's talk about the academic bit of
Yes,
it.
yes.
So you got a chance to study. Did you do your master's and a PhD in the same place?
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened is that after it was clear that this is what I wanted to spend my life in,
Yeah.
my initial training was not in economics or
Okay.
political science, it was in
Yes.
maths and physics.
Yes.
So there's one process of basically joining a field,
Yes.
but also just improving my ability to engage
Okay.
in that sense.
Yes.
That's when I started out looking for a scholarship, and I was very clear I wanted to go abroad,
Yes.
out of the country,
Yeah.
and just see how other people run their countries.
Exactly.
You know, I had been here for about, worked here from the university about 7 years, from 2003.
Yes.
And I believe that there's a place where you can see a different way.
Okay.
It may not be necessarily the best,
Yes.
but a different way.
Yes.
Of course, checked a couple of places and finally landed in Germany.
Okay.
The least of my expectations, because I had to learn the language and many other things.
Okay.
But really the inspiration was go find a place where you can see a different way of doing things.
Okay.
I learn. It was also nice because then the scholarship there also was accompanied by family, so I was able to bring my family along to Germany for the 4.5 years. For the 4 years,
Yeah.
the half was the language course.
Okay.
So really that was really the motivation. So I did it in the same place. I was awarded my PhD offer after excelling very well in my master's.
Okay.
And therefore I was asked, whenever you're ready, just come and take up the chance.
Okay. So you did the first 4 years. You did your master's program.
No. I did my master's program for a year. It was a career master's, so it was 1 year, and then the PhD for 3 years.
Oh, okay. 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 That's how it worked out.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
How hard is it to do a PhD in Germany, or is it easy?
I think the hard part is getting the scholarship. It's
Okay.
highly competitive.
Yes.
It's tough.
Okay.
And for somebody like me who was coming from a totally different field,
Yes.
it was fairly, at some point it was quite difficult. But it's a very easy place to live in. You do it in English, so you don't have to do it in German.
Okay.
The German language is that you have to learn it for your survival. you know,
Yeah.
for your
So
day.
to get around.
Get around, get your day-to-day interactions. The key people you need, including the secretary to the professor, speaks German.
Okay.
The professor may speak English, but
Yeah.
if the secretary speaks German,
Okay.
and you need to find your way to the professor. But we found it. We found it a fairly good place. I know it's not. When you don't have a job, it can be a bit taxing and difficult.
Yeah.
But for us, God gave us favor.
Yeah. So yeah, that was very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's come to the issue on the
Yeah.
ground. So I will ask you, what do you make of the current debate on debt revenue?
Yeah.
Is Kenya broke?
Yeah. First, I would say yes. I think we are broke.
Okay.
And when does somebody become broke? You become broke, and broke is just basically, it simply means that your expenditures do not match your income.
Okay.
Take it in a household level. You have projects, you have school fees, you have a car to pay for, and all that comes maybe to about 200,000.
Yes.
But your income is only 100,000 or
Yes.
even less.
Yes.
So technically you're broke, because
Yes.
what it means is that for you to fill in the extra gap,
Yeah.
and these are daily expenses.
Yes.
These, I mean, if it's a loan,
They are recurrent.
they are recurrent expenses.
Yes.
So every month,
Yes.
there's a bill, there's an invoice coming to your house
Yes.
of 200,000,
Yes.
but you're 100,000.
Yes.
It means by the time you're ending the year, you
Yeah.
have a shortfall of 1.2 million.
Yes.
Then you're broke.
You're broke.
What happens in a state like in a household level, you get auctioned.
Yes.
You know, your debtors come chasing you down, and they mortgage you. But for a country like Kenya, when we say a country is actually broke, is that, so there are two things that we look at within what we call the fiscal framework.
Yeah.
Broadly.
Yeah.
We look at the kind of expenditure and the level of expenditure.
Okay.
First.
Yes.
So the kind of expenditure is we are spending in education.
Yes.
We want to our children to be able to go to school without paying school fees. So that is a kind of expenditure.
Yes.
But there's a level. How much are we going to spend in education vis-a-vis healthcare, vis-a-vis infrastructure,
yes,
vis-a-vis agriculture,
yes,
vis-a-vis foreign policy, vis-a-vis defense,
yes,
and national security?
Yes.
So we look at the expenditure.
Yes.
Then you look at the revenues and ask yourself, where are we going to get the money to first incur the type of expenditure we want? So
yes,
the type of expenditure, let me go back a bit.
Yes.
The type of expenditure is
yes,
not determined by a politician
okay,
or a policymaker.
Yes.
Is already determined in the Constitution. When you read the Bill of Rights,
yes,
chapter 4 of our Constitution,
yes,
it is very clear on what are the entitlements, and suffice to use that word,
yeah,
what are the entitlements of Kenyans.
Yeah,
we have
yes,
said there, you know, we are going to be, you know, have freedom of association. We are going to have a right to education, a right to healthcare, a right to, you know, proper livelihoods. All those are entitlements.
Yes. So at that point, that's where whatever happens, every public budget planning system
has to take from there. You cannot come and say, for instance, I'm not going to budget for healthcare.
Yes.
It's no longer my business to provide. The Constitution, and that's why the president
yes,
swears into office.
Yes.
You know, once elected to form a government,
yes,
by the Constitution.
Yes.
So that I will implement this Constitution without favor, you know, and without bias.
Yes.
But then come to so once what you spend on is determined, what is left to policy
yes,
conversation
yes,
is how.
Yes.
How much?
How much? Yeah.
Within the pot of resources that are available.
Exactly.
To make it again further, in the Constitution of Kenya,
yeah,
we have two levels that we have determined that the way we are going to deliver this package of rights or this package of goods,
yes,
services and works,
yeah,
is some will be delivered by the national government and some will go to the county governments.
Okay.
So there are two levels there.
Yeah, so that's the current framework.
That's the current framework.
Yes.
But let's come to the revenue side.
Yes.
So if then the government has a responsibility to deliver public services,
yes,
then they also have a right to access resources.
Yes. So yes, the government has a right to come for us.
Yes. So they have a responsibility. Yes, they have a right to come to you.
Yes.
On the other hand,
yes,
you have a right to access the services, but
yes,
you also have a responsibility to finance those services.
Actually, I think one of the, while we are on that, I think the whole idea of balancing rights and responsibility, I think is one thing that is still, it doesn't come in the debate, because I think most of the time we keep talking about the right, you know, that this government is not taking us seriously, it's not fulfilling our rights. We have a right to education, healthcare, and all that, and this government is failing us. While on the other hand, once you start talking about tax, everybody becomes very sensitive.
But there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. So it's the agreement between a state and its populace. So
yes,
you know what we call, so between the, you know, the polity and the policy.
Yeah.
Between the people and their government.
Yeah.
Is that it's a two-way relationship.
Exactly.
We call it a social contract.
Yeah, it's a social
It's not
contract.
a signed contract.
Yes.
You know, it's not like where me and my employer.
Yeah.
I owe my employer certain goods and services that I need to provide.
Yeah.
And certain functions I need to perform.
Yeah.
He owes me my salary at the
Yes.
end of the month. So it can't come to the end of the month and we start discussing whether he will pay me or not.
Yes.
But in a country,
yes,
what we have is that we have a social contract.
Contract, yes.
This social contract implicitly means that I, as a citizen, will have a right to access certain package of public goods, services, and works.
Yes.
You, as my representative that I have elected as government, have a responsibility
yes,
to ensure that that is done.
Yes.
But there is a reverse of the contract, that I also have a responsibility to facilitate you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
By being an active citizen.
Me, citizen, I have a responsibility.
I have a responsibility of doing a couple of things. One, I have a responsibility to participate That's
Yes.
what we bring in public participation.
Yes.
To be involved in the decision making in governance. But I have elected a set of people
Yes.
to make decisions for and on my behalf, but
Okay.
not without my consultation. That's where public participation comes in.
Yes.
But taxation also falls exactly there.
Yes.
That I will also pay certain taxes
Yes.
from my labors to
Yes.
be able to facilitate you as government to
Yes.
provide those services.
Yeah.
But what happens when the contract is broken, where the weaker one, the citizen, still pays taxes,
Yes.
but the government does not provide the services,
Yes.
or the reverse,
Yes.
which is rare,
Yeah.
the government provides the services, but the citizen does not pay the tax.
Yeah.
That's where the problem comes in.
Yes.
Because you hear, I mean, for those who have traveled,
Yeah.
I lived in Germany.
Yeah.
The level of taxation, when you put everything together from my colleagues there, they tell me sits somewhere between 40 and 45% of
Yes.
your monthly income.
Yes.
But there's no day you wake up and find there's no water on your taps.
Yes.
There's no day you wake up and find that for strange reasons, there's no power today.
Yes.
There's no electricity today.
Okay.
You will not go to a hospital and not find a doctor because they have not been paid. Neither will you take a child to school and not find a teacher.
Yes.
In other words, the end of the contract is being honored, and therefore the paying of the tax is not a laborious process.
Yes.
It's not a painful extortion kind of a process.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, when the service is not being provided,
Yeah.
but the tax is being collected,
Yes.
then you are basically being extorted.
Yes.
It becomes a system, Yamajambas.
Yeah.
Where basically,
Yamajambas.
yes, where you are being extorted from, but
Yeah.
there's nothing being given back in return.
Okay.
So I think there's need for that conversation.
Yes.
Where, if governments at the county level, at national level, are not providing basic things as security, both human and physical security,
Yeah.
then I have a responsibility to take care of myself.
All right.
If I have a responsibility to take care of myself, if I have to pay the county parking,
Yes.
but still have to worry about my car
Yes.
being secure,
Yeah.
then I have to make a choice.
Yes. Between just making alternative arrangements.
Alternative arrangements.
Yes.
Because if I still have to pay for a permit at the parking, but I still have to clean the street that it leads to my shop, because
Yes.
then I need my customers to come, but I still have to worry about the security
Yes.
of where my shop is and
Yes.
whether I will wake up and so I've taken time to explain that, because that social contract, when broken,
Yes.
it cannot be fixed by electing new people.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
it has to become a decision by those who then are leading and those who are being led.
Yes.
On how then they renegotiate.
Exactly.
That renegotiation in politics, in
Yes.
political science,
Yeah.
is then becomes the debate of elective politics,
Yes.
where people say every 5 years we will renegotiate the social contract. We
Yes.
put GG there,
Yes.
he failed us.
Yes.
So let's look for Otieno or Wafula or whoever else there.
Yes.
We hope that they will honor that.
Yes.
But implicitly in the design of any governance system
Yeah.
is an expectation of two things. One, that you're going to be dealing with rational beings.
Yes.
Beings human beings who will make the right decision, even if there's a lacuna in the law.
Yes.
We talk of countries like the UK that do not have a written constitution, but things still run.
Yeah. Yes.
But secondly, that there is a certain minimum value system that is
Exactly.
upheld.
Yes, the value system. In fact, I think that's one of the things that doesn't come into the debate, especially when you're dealing with the whole relationship between the public, the consuming public, and the government.
Yeah.
Is that issue of the values, and that's a major issue.
It's a major issue.
Yeah.
It's a major issue because the value here, and it's beyond integrity.
Yeah.
It is that I, as the person in office and in government, who has been given a public trust,
Yes.
I value the people who have given me that public trust
Yes.
to make decisions that will enable their lives
Yes.
to continue in their desired. And if I am not able to execute that particular expectation, then I should resign from that particular role.
Yes.
So you see this in Japan, you see all this in all these countries.
Yes.
Just something going wrong, a minister resigns.
Yes. Yes.
And says, I don't have the moral authority
Yes.
to continue being in this position because I'm not able to execute my
Yes.
responsibilities.
Yes.
But let's come back to the money.
Yeah.
So that value is what you read in Article 201 of the Constitution
Yeah.
that lists a couple of principles.
Yes.
You know, we don't have time to go back to all the sections of the Constitution that talk about the current value. But here we talk about values of equity.
Yes.
That resources shall be distributed in a manner that is equitable,
Yes.
where the gains, particularly of public debt,
Yeah.
the gains and burdens are shared both by the current generation and the future generations.
Exactly.
Prudence,
Yes.
transparency,
Yes.
accountability.
Yes.
Basically, what we are saying is that chapter,
Yeah.
that article of the
Yeah.
Constitution of Chapter 12
Yeah.
is speaking about that there are certain values that are expected of any duty holder
Yes.
who is going to be using the resources.
Yes.
But what happens?
Yeah.
The current situation we are in
Yes.
is a situation that has been precipitated by three things.
Okay.
First, that there's a clearly broken agreement that the services that Kenyans expect from their government are not coming in the measure and in the quality, in
Yes.
the quantity and in the quality they
Yes.
expect.
Quantity and quality.
Yes, they
Yes.
expect.
Yes.
So if it's in education, people are preferring to go to a private school
Yeah,
because
yeah.
public school really is a death trap. You know?
Yeah.
Children, but some children have to go there because that's the only option.
Yeah. That's what they can afford.
That's what they can afford,
Exactly.
or that's all they have.
That's all the options.
Even living.
Those are the options
Yeah,
they have.
they have an option of one.
Yeah.
You know, really, that's all they have.
Yes.
So that is one main reason. So
Yes.
there's a lot of apathy. There's a lot of disillusionment. Not keen to engage. If you have a chance to get out, you get out.
Yeah.
And that could partly even explain the corruption going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where everybody's trying to amass as much so that they can create a life for their families.
Yeah.
That is comfortable.
Yeah, and that they can avoid the inefficiencies of government.
Precisely.
And where the government falls short, say, for example, in delivery of health service or education, they have an alternative.
Yeah.
And they do that now fraudulently.
Yeah.
And they are willing to actually step out of moral, obligations to do that.
So because of that private drive in provision of public services,
Yeah.
of services that should be publicly guaranteed,
Yes.
then you see that whole thinking also creeping into government.
Yes.
There's you see a lot of things that are being done, public processes, but with private ends.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Right now we are in the process of trying to, file for beneficial ownership.
Uh-huh.
Why is it such a difficult thing? Because there are many companies that do not have clear owners at the very end,
Yes.
but they are doing trading. They are trading with government. So that's one. So there's a whole area there around accountability, around just how resources are being used properly.
Yeah.
The second reason why we are in the current situation
Yes.
is the fact that revenues, economy has not been performing as expected.
Yes.
COVID came in and just made things worse.
Yeah.
And largely the reason why economy is not performing, and I'll explain in the third point, is because the investments don't necessarily seem to be matching what should be happening.
Yes.
So our revenues have been going down. And the reason why revenue is going down is because our claim for employment creation does not emerge income tax.
Okay.
Which is a strange relationship.
Okay.
Because it would be expected that as you create employment,
Yes.
then income tax, which accounts for about 47% of our revenue,
Yes.
of our ordinary revenue without debt, will be going up. It's going down.
So that's very strange. So employment,
meaning what simply it means is that more companies are shutting down and more people are being pushed out of employment.
Okay.
And getting either into all these, informal employment and the like.
Yes.
But thirdly is that public expenditure has been continuing on a business as usual.
Going up.
Yeah. It's been going up. Look at it.
Yeah, it's going up. And by the way, while you're that, there are many ways to explain why public expenditure is going up, but we can even now just link it up to for example, the current debate about expanding the executive at the top,
Precisely.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to result in the public expenditure going up.
So if your expenditures are just going up,
Yes.
you're spending more and more,
Yes.
but you're earning less and less.
Yes.
I mean, there's even no economics required there. The end.
You can see the trouble coming. You can see trouble coming. All right.
And when you listen to what the president said, I think on Monday, or was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
And what the CS on Spice FM said yesterday,
Yes.
it simply tells you things are bad.
Things are bad.
Yeah.
Things are bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you're following this very closely. You're listening to what we're saying. And there are numbers on the screen. You can text, you can call. Please let us what you think about this debate. I believe we are educating you. We are helping you understand how we are where we are. And Dr. Rugo is really breaking things down. And as you can see, there are so many elements that link up together to create the kind of economic challenge and financial in particular that we are in. So, Dr. Rugo, so I think you have enumerated those three. So you can summarize for us those three elements. So one is
so one, you have a whole apathy question in participation in the economy.
Okay.
That basically has been driven by a pursuit of private gain through public means.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one
second one is that revenues are going down.
Yes.
You know, they are plummeting and they are going down. But thirdly is that public expenditure seems to be going on an business as usual kind of a trajectory.
Okay.
So what happens in that kind of a mix?
Yeah.
Is that first of all, you have unexplained wealth.
Yes.
And mass poverty.
Okay. Yeah. So and so it's like even some of the policies. For example, the other day we talked about stimulus. Before we go to the break, maybe we'll come to that. When you talk about, say, a stimulus program, and you're trying to stimulate, for example, the businesses that suffered so seriously last year, 2020, due to COVID, and then you take that money and you pump it into organizations, companies. Remember, these companies are owned by the same people who actually don't quite need that stimulus. Would rather even the situation where we send some money to people in Kibera. I remember there was a kind of a program.
Overseas,
Sent some cash to
transfer.
People, cash transfer. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll go into a break. When we come back, we're going to revisit those three elements and also look at the other issues around public debt. And I believe that you're learning. So keep watching, and we'll see you soon after the break.